Let's welcome Diego Martinez and his talk, Apple's Rise.
There is this company that has changed the world many times over the last few years. I'm talking about a company that started just outside of a garage in Silicon Valley, a place far from the technological epicenter at that time. This company has revolutionized the world in many ways. One of the times it has changed the world has been in June 2007 at Macworld, when it released the first iPhone. It changed the way phone manufacturers needed to continue to produce phones from there on. As highlighted by Steve Jobs at that company, every other phone manufacturer out there was developing phones with a physical keyboard. There was nothing unlike the iPhone, which had a multi-touch screen, which basically means you could control it with your hand. I know that in today's day and age, controlling a phone with your fingers sounds ordinary, but at the time, there was nothing like it. It was the first of its kind and revolutionized the world. But this wasn't the first time that the iPhone revolutionized the world. It had done so before with the iPod that changed how people listen to music on the day-to-day lives, and with the iBook, which further on became the MacBook, which changed how people used portable computers in every day. Apple has also created this way that people want to have their products, for people to have them and for people who need them in everyday lives. Why do you think that there's a line every time a new iPhone comes out for people just waiting to buy it? People just waiting to try on the new features. People just waiting to see what Apple promised at their presentations. This is why Apple has had a long time of people wanting to have their products and them being one of the most powerful technological powerhouses. Apple does this because of two reasons. One, the quality of the products. It releases high-quality products, but also they're in charge of the software integration with it. The software and hardware integration that Apple produces create something called the ecosystem. The ecosystem allows you to have a better use and a better understanding between devices as they communicate with one another. Let's say that you're finishing a presentation and you need to add a picture. You just take it with your iPhone and airdrop it to your Mac. Or let's say you want to go out for a run and you cannot take your phone, so you just put on your AirPods and use your Apple Watch in everyday life. The ecosystem is designed to make everyone's life easier, as it breaks barriers between multiple devices and just creates one whole ecosystem. Another reason that Apple has remained one of the most powerful companies has been their long-standing relationship with the stock exchange. Apple first listed itself in December 1980, just 4 years after they were founded as a company. When the company was first going to be listed, it listed itself for $14 a share. And this was risky because every other technological company at the time who listed themselves had failed and gone through bankruptcy immediately after. While Apple's case was different. When Apple went public, the sale rose to $22 a share, and with 4 million shares being sold, the company was instantly worth $1.78 million. This is now different from today's day and age, where Apple has officially become the first American company to be worth $1 trillion, surpassing their own competitors like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Facebook. This change in Apple history has created many people to now look at the company in other ways. For example, I learned about the company when I got my first iPad, which was when I was around 4th grade. iPads were just new at the time. There was nothing like it. Everything was either a desktop computer we used like in computer class or a laptop, which we had at home. But an iPad was different. It was the first time you could just have something and take it anywhere with you. You look at videos. If yours had like a chip in it, you could take it anywhere with the internet. It was different than anything else we had at the time. So that changed my life, and because it was the first piece of technology that could allow that, from there on out, I started wanting to have every Apple device out there. I wanted to have a Mac. I wanted to have an iPhone. I wanted to have an Apple Watch. I wanted to have an AirPod because of the ecosystem I described previously and the connection it has to making your life easier and furthering along your school or work productivity. Because of this, I was able to look at Apple as more than just a company you can buy from. I watched it as somewhere where I possibly might want to work in the future, or a place just to experiment and try the products and look at them. But after starting economics in senior year, I started looking at the behind the scenes. Everything I just said about the stock market and everything about that, it allowed me to see that Apple is not just a technological company. It also has to see its investments, what is the best for their customers, what is the best for them, not specifically looking at Apple themselves. They need to focus on what we want so that we can buy it, because that's the way Apple makes everyone's lives easier. Thank you.